Hello and welcome to Classic Vinyl Podcast. This is the podcast where we listen to and review songs and albums from the classic vinyl era of the 60s and 70s. And we are starting episode number 141, Tyler. And this is season 4.
Season 4.
Yeah, we're starting season 4.
We've been at this for 4 seasons. Well, this is beginning our 4th season.
Beginning our 4th year.
Wow. Thank you for everybody that's still with us.
Yes, Tyler's grandmother or his mother or whoever.
Yeah, somebody in my family has been listening to us and, well, they're not sending hate mail, which I guess is a step up in my family.
Yeah, good point. So I'm one of your hosts, Justin, and I'm obviously joined by my co-host, Tyler.
Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah, so we're going to kick this one off with someone we've done, I believe, a couple songs here before from Tom Petty.
Yeah.
And we had Jim from Phoenix, Arizona request this song. So, Jim, here's Tom Petty, I Need to Know.
Well done, Jim. This one turned out to be a bit of a gem.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good song. Well, the talk on the street says you might go solo. I hope that's not you going solo.
Oh, I've started my own side podcast where we... no, I have not. I'm not talented.
Yeah, plus, I just won't let you use my home studio alone.
Exactly. So if you want to hear a recording off of my iPhone.
Yeah, exactly. So let me give you a little history about Tom Petty and kind of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. But let's be honest, Tom Petty is the main piece of the Heartbreakers.
Mm-hmm.
But Thomas Earl Petty was born October 20th of 1950 down in Gainesville, Florida. He had a pretty tough upbringing, actually. He was abused as a child and a lot of things. I think it was a rough area, but a lot of music came out of there. I just got done reading a Tom Petty biography about a month ago. Pretty good read on it. But
good.
Obviously, Tom was a member of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, most famously Mudcrutch, the Traveling Wilburys. He's well known for rock, country rock, southern rock, what some people call heartland rock. Really well known for his special sound, which, really could be reminiscent of the Beatles, but was certainly reminiscent of the Byrds. In fact, a lot of people, I wouldn't say criticized, but that's really what they did was criticize Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers early on, saying they were just a Byrds knockoff, which I could see where the sound comes from. The 12-string Rickenbacker guitars, that 360 12-string that Tom was well known for using, and he wasn't shy about saying that he respected the Beatles and he respected the Byrds, and that's what he wanted to sound like. So, and I think everybody's in that, right? Everybody comes from somewhere.
Yeah, but Tom Petty has a very Tom Petty sound.
And there's no doubt about it. He's got his own thing, and I think the thing that impresses me about Tom Petty, he's one of my favorite artists, but really picking up in the late 70s and going in up till his death. I mean, really, their music really held a center. It didn't really fall in any genre at any time and follow the standard tropes of everything else. And that's what I really liked about him.
Yeah, there's certain things like Pink Floyd is another one of those bands that other people might be influenced by them or try to imitate them, but they only Pink Floyd sounds like Pink Floyd. Only Tom Petty sounds like Tom Petty. Only Meatloaf sounds like Meatloaf. You don't get a lot of crossover.
I agree with that. Now, Tom Petty overall sold almost 90 million albums worldwide, so a pretty decent amount there. Was a very active lobbyist for musicians' artistic control and freedom. He really fought the record companies quite a bit and trying to keep the prices down and things like that. But like I stated earlier, he's well known for using his Rickenbacker guitars, along with he uses Stratocasters, Telecasters. I mean, he can play the piano. He's pretty multi-talented. So all in all, he's released 13 studio albums with the Heartbreakers. All 13 of those studio albums were in the top 100. 12 of those studio albums hit the top 25, 7 in the top 10. Damn the Torpedoes, which is probably the album the Heartbreakers are most well known for, and their more recent album, Mojo, both hit number 2, but one of their most recent albums, Hypnotic-I, hit number 1, their only number 1 album.
Wow.
Now, Tom Petty did release 3 solo albums, Full Moon Fever, which was a huge comeback hit for him, I guess, hit number 3. Wildflowers, which is the album that really introduced me to Tom Petty, hit number 5, and Highway Companion that hit number 4. He's released 14 live and compilation albums. Now, overall, as far as singles are concerned, he's released 71 singles in his career, 35 in the top 20. 26 of those singles hit the top 10. Now, the songs The Waiting, You Got Lucky, Jammin' Me, I Won't Back Down, Running Down a Dream, Free Fallin', Learning to Fly, Out in the Cold, Mary Jane's Last Dance, You Don't Know How It Feels. Guess what all those have in common?
They were all written by Tom Petty?
Yeah, you're right, but they all hit number 1 on the charts.
Okay, that does not surprise me. What's the tally on that?
Number 1 songs, well, you're going to have to let me count here.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10 number 1 hits. He had 71 singles, 26 of them in the top 10. That's at least a third in the top 10. And of that third, you've got at least, well, almost half.
Yeah, almost half
number
of them.
1.
Yeah, number 1. Pretty impressive.
I mean, shoot, he's like out of 70, he's got 10.
Especially for an artist that
Yeah.
didn't really follow the pattern, you know. He
Yeah.
wasn't in the, I mean, he was always mainstream, but he never tried to be the mainstream, which is what I liked.
And you listed off all those number 1s, and I recognize every single one of them.
Oh yeah, Tom Petty's very popular. And I
Yeah.
think even if you don't know Tom Petty's music, you've heard Tom Petty's music.
Yeah. However, tonight, it's a new one for me. I haven't heard this one before a few minutes ago.
That surprises me, honestly, but he's released a total of 3 albums with the Traveling Wilburys, which hit number 3, number 11, and number 9 on the charts. He had 5 singles with the Wilburys, Handle with Care and End of the Line, which are probably their 2 most famous songs, and She's My Baby, which was pretty popular too. All 3 of those songs hit number 2. He released 2 albums with Mudcrutch. Now, Mudcrutch is the band Tom Petty was in previous to the Heartbreakers, and once he found fame and things, he kind of brought that back together. And Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2002. You know what we think of that, so we won't go into that, but well-deserved without a doubt.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they took their time putting him in, but at least he's in there.
Yeah, and Tom's done a lot of things. He's done some acting. Notably, the movie I seen him in was The Postman, which I think it's an excellent movie, and a lot of people don't like it, but I think that is a damn good movie.
He's good.
Yeah, and he's been in The Simpsons and King of the Hill, so that's more voice acting, but still, he's been in quite a few things. Now, unfortunately, Tom Petty died on October 2nd of 2017 from an accidental overdose. He had some major pain issues. He was taking pain medications for, and I think he just misjudged. And I was telling you before we recorded, is out of all the artists that I love, if you've listened to this podcast, you know I love the Beatles. And I've seen Paul and Ringo as much as possible. The other ones weren't really possible for me to see. The Who, I've seen The Who. Tom Petty's the one artist I had several chances to see, but for some reason I just never made it. And I
kept putting it off.
Yeah, I regret it hell to this day, but it is what it is, right?
Can't do everything.
No, you can't do everything. So do you want to get to the song review?
I really do.
And now it's time for the song review.
So today we're going to be doing Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and I Need to Know, and I guess I don't need to ask you because you've never heard this song before, and that's actually very surprising to me.
It is surprising because I really like this song. Boy, it's good.
Yeah, it's a good song.
But no, I don't recognize this. I didn't recognize it from anything. It sounds a lot like some other songs I've heard from this era of the 80s and 70s, but this one, I have not heard it.
So this was obviously Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers song. Now, the Heartbreakers are obviously Tom Petty on guitar, vocals, piano. Now, this is on the full album, right? But Mike Campbell, guitars, excellent guitar player. Benmont Tench on piano and organs. You've got Ron Blair on bass and Stan Lynch on drums. Now, the song I Need to Know was released on June 19th of 1978. I think this could break our record for the latest song we've done on this podcast, but I'm not positive.
You might be right. I don't think we've done anything in the 80s, have we?
No, I think we've tried to stick to the 60s and 70s. Sooner or later, within, maybe by season 20 or 30, we'll run out of 60s and 70s songs we want to do. So the B-side of I Need to Know was a song called No Second Thoughts. Now, this song was written by Tom Petty. It was recorded at Shelter Studios in Hollywood, California, and produced by Denny Cordell, Noah Stark, and Tom Petty himself. This is actually the first single off the band's second studio album. That studio album was titled You're Gonna Get It. The album itself reached number 23 in the Billboard charts here in the U.S. It did not chart in Canada or the U.K., however. So this album is certified gold in the U.S. by the RIAA. this is really kind of an overlooked album. It's a really good album. It is, but it comes right after their debut album, obviously, and that had their big hit and their first breakout hit, Breakdown, which is a song we've done on this podcast before.
Mm-hmm.
And it come right before what's questionably their most, I shouldn't say questionably, but definitely their most popular album is the Heartbreakers' Damn the Torpedoes, which really broke the band loose.
Yeah.
And so this one just kind of gets overlooked a little bit, but it is a pretty good album, even though it was recorded really quickly. And, you know, bands have this tendency to not follow up with sophomore albums as strong because they use all their good songs on their first album. And they're usually songs they've been playing for years and been practicing for years. And so they pretty much know them by heart. But then coming into the sophomore album, they might have a couple stragglers, but they've got to come up with some new material. So Tom Petty has stated in past interviews that the inspiration for I Need to Know was from Wilson Pickett's song, Land of a Thousand Dances. Give that song a listen when you have a chance because it has the same type of rhythm. It's really interesting. You can see where it come from. So
okay.
The song is kind of a duality in the fact that Petty in this song, if you listen to the lyrics, he's demanding certain things from this woman. He also concedes he doesn't know how long he can hold on. So I guess it's a guy that's kind of hurting, but at the same time, he's attempting to show his toughness. So, and Tom Petty has always said that this same character that's in this song is carried on to a lot of his songs. And he's also said that sometimes he wonders why he's always writing about these girls that are having problems or whatever. And he's wondering if he's actually the woman in his songs and he's writing about himself and his own troubles. But
interesting.
Sometimes I think you get a little too deep on that. In all reality, it's just sometimes you're just writing a song, you know. But
yeah, if anybody's going to get too deep on that, it's over on this side of the room.
Yeah, I would say that for sure. So the song itself only reached number 41 on the Billboard charts in the U.S. It reached number 46 on the Canadian charts, but this is a song that did not chart in the U.K., which is kind of funny because before the band hit big, they were actually more popular in the UK at first before they come back to the States. They hit it big on some tours over there and things like that, and then come back here and were relatively unknown. So
would that have been the time frame of their first album?
Before their first album. Yeah.
Before their first album. So for this follow-up album, I'm surprised that this didn't chart.
Yeah, kind of strange. But I don't know the full history of it. Maybe it wasn't released as a single there, so which would make sense. So the song's been included on most of Tom Petty's, greatest hits compilations, including the greatest hits, playback, anthology through the years, and best of everything. So that's why it's kind of surprising to me that you haven't heard it, because I hear it on the radio all the time, and it's on all his compilation albums. So
it really is a miracle that I haven't heard this before now.
Yeah, well, so we listened to it 3 times in a row. Tyler, what are your thoughts on Tom Petty? I Need to Know.
Oh, it's beautiful. This song opens up just like you want it, with a strong electric guitar, and it backed up by the drums, and then the bass is there. The piano, it's got piano in it, and I like it. The piano kind of ties it into that kind of 50s rock and roll.
That's the one thing is, we talk about the Rickenbacker guitars with Tom Petty that give him the sound, and him and Mike Campbell, especially Mike Campbell, is an excellent guitar player. But the one thing that I think is overlooked in Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, especially, is Tench, who plays the piano and the keyboards, and that's a sound that continues through their whole span of songs, and I think it makes them a little different than some of the other bands, the way it's used.
Yeah, because it adds a different dimension to this.
Yeah.
Something that you don't get in your typical power trios. Yeah. That extra, the piano is just, like I said, it makes it reminiscent of more classic rock and roll, kind of like, the song from, Top Gun, Great Balls of Fire, piano song, but
it's funny. You pick a song from the 50s and say it's from Top Gun.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm with you though. I get what you're saying.
I was trying to think of something else that was a little more recognizable, but I'm like,
Yeah, that great Jerry Lee Lewis song. It was from Top Gun.
Yeah, it was from Top Gun. But it's a 50s song, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I get into it, and this song, like you said, I'm really interested in listening to Wilson Pickett's Land of a Thousand Dances because of that rhythm. I really want to hear it because I fell in love with that rhythm right away. It's awesome, and I really liked it. there's a really good bridge in that song. Speaking of the piano, you have a showcase of the guitar backed up by the piano in the bridge of this song. It's not very long, a few measures maybe, but it's so reminiscent of those classic rock and roll songs, and it just throws you right back, and it's great. So this guy, the song's the story of a guy who's hearing rumors that his girl's planning on leaving him, that she's probably met somebody else and he used a liner on her and she fell for it. And now he's wondering, okay, so is this it? Are we done? Or should I keep hanging around, or should we cut ties? And he just really wants to know. He needs to know. And he doesn't want to waste time. He wants to either be in this for the long haul, or he wants to part ways before he's too invested in it, you know? So I get where he's coming from, and boy, Tom does an excellent job of portraying that message, and you hear it in his voice. Got that pain. The instruments, the singing, it's all perfect and beautiful, and I'm amazed that by some miracle I haven't heard this song until tonight, and I look forward to adding this one to my playlist because I loved it. Fell in love with this song immediately. What are your thoughts on this one, Justin?
Yeah, this song has everything I like about music in it. Tom Petty's vocal, you can tell when Tom Petty's singing. He's got that, what's the best way to put it? He's not going to be the best singer in the world, but he's the best singer for what's going on here. Mm-hmm. This song kicks straight into all the instruments right open, and it has heavy guitar in it. And like I stated earlier, Mike Campbell's an amazing guitar player. I really like the guitar riffs all throughout the verses and the choruses especially, but what you really need to listen to this is the guitar solo in the middle. You've got dueling guitars, which I assume is Tom Petty and Mike Campbell, and I think it's just an excellent guitar solo on this. And the thing about this song is it rocks straight through. It's a quick rocker. It's 3 minutes long. It's not a very long song at all, and it's everything I love about rock and roll. It really is, and that's what I say with Tom Petty is you can look in his music and say, yeah, I see some Byrds there, some Beatles there, but then there's some blues there, and sometimes you even get a touch of country in it, but it's just Tom Petty, and I don't know how it is they did what they did with things, but Tom Petty is definitely in my top 5 artists of all time. And so anytime I see, Jim from Phoenix sent this one over, and I'm like, yep, that's the one we're picking, because Tom Petty is one of my favorite artists, and I just like the purity of it all. This is an excellent song, and it really surprises me. I haven't heard it, but it's a good rocker. Yeah, right down my alley. Do you want to rate the song?
I really do.
Song rating.
Okay, listener, if this is your first go around with us, we want to welcome you and explain our rating system briefly. It's a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the best, 5 being smack in the middle. Like I said, fell in love with this song. I throw it up there at a solid 9. This song was a masterpiece. I just really loved everything about it. One of my favorite eras was the 80s rock and roll, and you get a lot of songs from the 80s, especially early 80s, that sound like this. And so hearing Tom Petty lay this down, I'm like, wow, this is kind of a forerunner to one of my favorite eras. So where do you put this one, Justin?
Yeah, I guess we're going to open up season 4 with the same rating because I rate this in a 9 as well.
Oh, wow.
And Tom Petty is someone who I implore everyone to go listen to because to me he breaks all rules. I mean, this guy went from the late 70s until 2017 touring and releasing albums, albeit with whether it was the Heartbreakers, whether it was solo, whether it was with Mudcrutch, whether it was with the Traveling Wilburys, but he was a busy man and he put a lot of material out there and there's nothing else to really compare it to. And so, yeah, Tom Petty's one of my favorites. So a 9 on this song, and I look forward to doing a lot of other songs from Tom Petty.
Tom Petty grew on me. He's one that I didn't really care for when I first started listening, but he grew on me. The more I listened to him, the more I respected him, the more I liked him. When I first started listening to Tom Petty, I heard a guy who was fighting off a cold, straining at his voice, and that's what his voice sounded like to me. It still sounds a bit like that to me, but it's more than that. Here's a guy who's not going to be limited by his physical abilities. He's going to sing his heart out, despite what his vocal cords can handle, despite what his lungs can handle. He's grown on me, and I have so much respect for the man. And I love the sound of his voice. It's a beautiful sound. knowing more of his story and more of his the kind of person he is. So I am glad I gave Tom Petty a chance.
Yeah, and I think the best thing about Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers or whatever you want to dive into is their albums. I mean, they've got some hit singles that everybody knows and you hear them everywhere, but the albums are where they're at. But Jim from Phoenix, thank you for the suggestion for I Need to Know. We appreciate your time listening to us. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or songs you would like us to rate, send them, like always, to classicvinylpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, see you later.
See you.
Thank you so much for listening to Classic Vinyl Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcast or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at Classic Vinyl Podcast for updates, and also share us with your music-loving friends.